Hello guys, it's Adrian again from Adrian's Adventure. I know it's been a while since I last posted a video on YouTube, but now I'm back! So I just recently finished my online class, so I'm now on break. So at least for 3 weeks, so I have the leisure of time to create video content for you. So as you can see in today's video, based from the title, I'm going to talk about random facts about Turkey and Turkish people. Just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to generalize Turkey or Turkish people. This is just based from my observation and experiences. So let's be clear about that. So without much further ado, let's start! Get anything that I want to say or share with you. So the first thing that really struck me about Turkey or Turkish people is that their love for tea. Turkish people love tea. Name it, for breakfast, maybe after lunch or after dinner, snack time, they love tea. So tea's like, how can I say, and their national beverage, if there's such thing like that. So they really love tea, and they are one of the top producing country for tea, and they have different kinds of varieties of teas. They have daisy, black tea, green tea. There's this one, kushburnu, I don't know the English. Ada chai, and so on and so forth. So Turkish people love tea. So when you come to Turkey, don't be surprised. Whether you go to a restaurant or even in fast food chains, they do offer teas. And also another thing, they also love Turkish coffee. Okay, they have a specific way to do it, and it's also used. How can I say? It's a symbolic drink during engagement. What do I mean by that? So when a Turkish couple gets engaged, usually the Turkish girl or the Turkish bride would serve the groom or her groom-to-be a Turkish coffee. And this Turkish coffee normally has salt on it, let's say too much sugar in it. So it's really something symbolic during engagement time. So what does it mean? So if the Turkish groom or groom-to-be drinks that coffee without any reaction, then they would say that the love of the boy for the girl is pure. Another one, Turkish people also has this, how can I say this? Their food is not complete without bread, or their meal is not complete without bread. So what do I mean by that? So for breakfast, they have bread. For lunch, bread is there. It's always part of their meal. So when you go to a Turkish household, you can always find bread. Like for example, you go for dinner, they have bread beside your meal or on the table. Or when you want to have lunch, there's always bread. Okay, bread is like a constant food on their table. So you can always find bread on any Turkish meal. Okay. What else? What else did I write? Oh, this one. You can always find soup also in a Turkish meal, except for breakfast, of course. In Ramadan, they do have soup, okay, during sahur. But you know, whether it's lunch or dinner, soup is always present there. So, and they have different types of soup: tomato soup, mushroom soup, vegetable soup, chicken soup, blah blah soup, and all that soup, or chorba. They call it chorba here. So name it, they have different kind of soup, and they always have soup in every meal except for breakfast. Let's be clear about that. Okay, moving on. Another random fact about Turkey is that this one. Turkish people are always curious. So what do I mean by that? Curious in the sense that they want to know more about you, especially if you're a foreigner. So it's very common here in Turkey when someone's going to ask you, where are you from? What are you doing here in Turkey? Do you like Turkish food? So it's very common. Even though I've been here in Turkey for more than 5 years, I still, interact with people, or I still receive this kind of question from Turkish people. Even though I'm speaking in Turkish, for example, I'm in the market, I would speak in Turkish, how much is that, and like this and like that. They're curious, okay? It doesn't mean that they're racist or kind of a sort, but they're curious, okay? They really want to know more about your culture. Where are you from? Why did you come to Turkey? Do you like Turkish food? That is the one question that Turkish people always ask you. Do you like Turkish food? So it's very common here. So don't feel bad if Turkish people would ask you, where are you from? Or do you like Turkish food? Because they're just curious. Like, they really want to know more about you. Because maybe some of them have not been outside Turkey, so that's why they're curious. And most of these people who are usually curious are the old people. Okay, I'm not saying really the old one, but the aunt, the teyze, the hala, the amja. Okay, they're really curious. Even though you're inside metro or you're inside a bus, you're inside a tram, if they had a chance to ask you, they would. You would actually notice it because the way how they look at you, they're curious about you. They're not racist. Let me be clear about that. Turkish people are not racist. They're just curious about you. So maybe if you can find someone who has this very interesting look about you, it's just that they're curious. They want to ask about you. But sometimes they're shy to ask. Because maybe they're thinking, oh, maybe this person doesn't know Turkish. How can I ask? I'm just curious, where is she from? So it's very common here in Turkey. Like most of the people, I'm not saying everyone, most of the people are curious. Another one, I want to talk about this. Turkish people, majority of the Turkish people are nationalistic. So what do I mean about that? So they're nationalistic in the sense that they're very proud of their culture, their heritage, their founder. Like, you can always find a Turkish flag in almost all of the balconies here in the houses in Turkey. So it's very common that they would express their love for their country. It's very common when you ask them, for example, just for a conversation, like, oh, would you like to live in another country? They would always choose Turkey. They would rather be here in Turkey regardless if the economy is booming or not, because they love their country. They're majority, okay, I'm not saying everyone. Majority of them are nationalistic. They're very proud of the Ottoman Empire, or they call it the Osmanlı İmparatorluğu. So they're very proud of their heritage. They're very proud of Atatürk. They're proud of their city. So that's why you can always find flags, okay, Turkish flags on balconies, on windows, okay, name it. And this is also another interesting fact about Turkey. They have everything, like an equivalent, or they have, how can I say this? They have, in every action that you do, they have something to say about it, or an expression about it. I think that's the right word. Let's say you're doing something. Let's say maybe you're preparing your lesson for your class, or maybe you're just sweeping the floor. People would have always an expression for it. They would say "kolay gelsin." Or what does it mean in English? I think it means something like, may easy come upon you. Like, may you have ease at your work or what you're doing right now. Okay? Or when you take a bath, after you take a bath, they would say "saatler olsun." I don't really know what's the meaning of saatler olsun in English, the exact equivalent. Or when you have a haircut, okay, they would say saatler olsun. Let's say before you eat a meal, afiyet olsun. Okay, or it's bon appetit. It's the equivalent. Or when you do something, or when you cook something, or when you do something, they would say elleriniz sağlık, like may health come into your hands, like may your hands have health, something like that. Or let's say when you cough, okay, like maybe you're feeling something, okay, they would say helal olsun. They have this aşk olsun. They have, what else do they have? They have expression for everything that you do. That's something interesting that I found in Turkey. Like when I first came, like they always have something to say about this, about that, like, and it's quite interesting because, you know, in the country where I came from, like we don't have this much expression, like this, like that, like this. They have almost all expression for everything that you do. İlerini sağlık, sağlık olsun, and more. I can't remember other expressions right now, but they do have, in almost everything that you do, they have an expression for it. So don't be surprised if you can hear something like maybe you're gardening. They would say kolay gelsin. It's just an expression saying that may easiness come upon your work or what you're doing, whatever you're doing. Another one, I think this is not something uncommon. I think almost everyone knows about this, that Turkey is very rich in historical places. So there's a lot of historical places that you can visit here in Turkey. I'm telling you, from Istanbul down to, let's say, the Antalya region, there's a lot of historical places here in Turkey. Let's say if you started from Istanbul, you can see the Hagia Sophia, Galata Tower, and then when you go to Izmir, there's the Ephesus. In Denizli, there's Pamukkale. In Nevşehir, there's Cappadocia, and there's this underground city. I forgot the name of Demirkuyu, something like that. And there are other historical places in Nevşehir also. Or let's say if you want to go to the eastern side, especially the eastern side is very rich in historical sites. You say you go to Adıyaman, you can find the Nemrut Mountain. Let's say you go to Şanlıurfa or Mardin, you can find the old Mardin city, Midyat, okay, Göbekli Tepe, and a lot of things. Okay, so Turkey is really rich in historical places. Even though if you go to Çanakkale, you can find that the old Troy area city. I'm not sure if it's Troy city, but Çanakkale, they call it Çanakkale. So Turkey is really rich in historical places or historical sites. Moving on. Oh, this one. There's a lot of courses here in Turkey. So what do I mean by that? Courses, like you can find almost all courses for a certain thing. Like let's say, for like if a mom wants to be a better mom, there's a specific course for that. Or if you want your kid to really speak good English, there's a course for that. If you want your child to be or to have a good command in like mathematics, they have a certain course for that. Almost all courses they have Ebru courses, for this courses, for that courses. So they have lots of courses. That's what I noticed. Okay, that's based from what I have observed so far. Okay, let's move on. Oh, this one. When Turkish people watch matches, let's say football match, basketball match, volleyball match, they love to eat çekirdek. What's the English of çekirdek? Something like sunflower seed, dry sunflower seed. So they love to munch on that. So it's very common if you go to a Turkish house with your friends, if you're planning to watch a football match, they always have this çekirdek. They keep on eating it. And they're so very fast when they eat this one. They're very good at, you know, getting the seed out of it. They're very quick on it. And then, what else? Oh, this one. This is just based on my observation. Turkish people are not really open to trying new cuisines. Okay. Not all, okay. Some of them. Because I noticed that, for example, if you introduce them to Japanese food or when you introduce them to Korean food, they would say like, why don't we have Turkish food instead? We're in Turkey. Okay? They're not very open. Okay, not everyone. Okay, let's be clear about it, not everyone, some of them, they're not very open to trying new cuisines. Okay, and if they do, what I noticed is that if they do, they would put a lot of yogurt on it. You know, I don't know why. I think just to please their palates. I don't know. I noticed that also. I remember when I cooked adobo, one of my friends, like there were like 3 Turkish people during the time. They were my friends. They put a lot of yogurt on it. I was like, why are they putting yogurt on it? And then I realized, like, okay, they want, of course, to try new food, but out of respect, I guess that's why they tried it. But I think they couldn't really swallow it, maybe, perhaps, so they put a lot of yogurt on it. And what else? I think this is the last one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess this is the last one. This is just based on my observation. It's very hard, or it's very rare to find seafood here in Turkey. Even though there's the Black Sea in the northern side and the southern part, we have the Aegean and the Mediterranean Sea. It's kind of rare, or maybe because just I'm in the middle air part. It's kind of rare. That's what I've noticed. Okay? Because even though I go to the Mediterranean area or Asian area, there's seafood, but there's not much option about it. There's like maybe like 4 options. Unlike if you go to other places, there's a lot of varieties. So it's not so common, but they do have. Okay, they do have. But based on my observation, there's not a lot of variety. Okay, maybe they have fish. They only have like maybe 5 varieties, for example. Okay. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you learned something new. I don't know if you've learned something new. And guys, if you want me to make other videos, or if you want to learn something about Turkey, please comment down below and I would try to make a video about that. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!